Utah State Legislature and the House of Representatives. The reason I'm running came originally out of concern that I had after watching in the years before the recession, the state again and again passed significant increases in the budget. And then when the recession came along, we did the right thing, we cut the budget rather than raising taxes. But we managed to trim 20% out of our budget, and most of us didn't feel any change in the services we were getting. If we had 20% of the budget that we were able to take out when we were forced without us feeling any difference, it makes me wonder how much more waste we have included that we haven't yet been forced to take out. As a vocation at Overstock.com, I run our business intelligence group, and my job is primarily to identify ways that we're spending money that aren't adding value, and identify ways that we can give that money back to the customers by getting rid of bad spending so we can bring our prices down. I think that's the same skill set we need in our state legislature. The other big issue of concern for me is education. I think the one great asset that Utah has when it comes to education is that Utah parents are more involved than parents anywhere else in the country. I can say that having lived in Arizona and New Mexico and Washington, D.C., and that is the greatest asset we have going for us. Now, I think the key to utilizing that asset for the state is that we need to get all of the bureaucracy at the layers in between the teacher and the parent out from between them, because they're the ones who are adding value in the education process. Everything else is just money that we're wasting. Ultimately, I think the key to doing that is by creating more choices in education, particularly for kids who are struggling. Oftentimes, when a kid is struggling in a classroom environment in one of our public schools, it's through no fault of the teacher or no fault of the class. It's just that child doesn't thrive well in that environment. And I think for those children in particular, we need to create a program where we can provide tax credits to those parents so that they can seek education in a classroom that does suit their child's needs. Whether that's in another public school that has a different program, a charter school, online education, homeschooling, whatever that choice may be, but empower the parents to find a place where that kid can thrive. That not only benefits that child, but it also benefits the other children in that class, because the teacher no longer has to take time out to try and bring another child up to speed. They can instead teach to the level of the class. So both the child and the class get ahead that way. Finally, I think the most important point that we can take out of this, and the most important thing that we need in our next state legislature, is that we need to make sure we have somebody else who, like consumption, not only has conservative values, not only translates that into good conservative policy, but also persuades others to support that policy as well. Ronald Reagan didn't revolutionize American politics by floating a few good ideas or giving a few good speeches. He did it by persuading Americans that the key to getting out of the malaise and recession that they were in was by getting the government out of their way and letting them do what needed to be done to get themselves back to work and create jobs for others. And I think the same answer is true today. I think that's the same skill set we need today. We need to make sure our next state legislator from Lehigh, from this 6th district, one of our most conservative districts in the state, has that same persuasive ability so that Utah can stay the best managed state in the country. Thank you. Seth Moore.